first quick round from G2 is gonna get into the minds of DarkZero. Second round, really slow things down, drone everything twice, set up your nomad air jabs and flanks, etc. And now DarkZero, they have to be on their toes. Are they gonna go fast? Are they gonna slow? They don't really know.
Yeah, and G2 has been one of the fastest entry teams as well at this tournament, minute and 4 seconds. So don't be too surprised when we see that. Opening round, fast pace. Second round, Doty, nice little lurk. Has been yellow pinged out. So information note, Nave gets an opportunity and he does not miss.
So Ninja should be a free kill. Nave pays respects, takes the corner. Canadian also good for 1. DarkZero now with the 2 opening kills, just like G2 in that round prior.
Yeah, and it's so far really solid and stalwart defense from DarkZero to begin with. No trades come through from G2. Tried to kind of just lurk in, try to get some pressure. Didn't go for that more conventional either sweep across or pressure top library. Virtue now just repelling on down. So far though, this is a bit of an issue for G2 because time's going to become a factor as well.
And it is. And you gotta say that Doty, I love to see the full commit there go straight into the side, but the issue is you're up against Valkyrie. That was left open by G2, so when you're gonna go for these slow creep around placing the attack inside, if you're up against a Valkyrie or an Echo or a Maestro, those cameras might find you. We saw the yellow pings come out, Nave acted upon it, and DC, they love playing structured off intel.
Yeah, I mean, there was a live drone for Virtue in towards Piano, but didn't quite get to Nave, and as soon as he vaults in, Nave is already holding that angle anyway, so poor timing moment there, unfortunately, for G2. Alamau just goes for that lurk once again. We saw it earlier. Nate was already watching it. They're switched on here, DarkZero. 5 versus 1. Talk about a rebound round in just the second one after a bit of a struggling start. Flawless there from DarkZero. Probably don't really want to see a whitewash. No one wants to look at this matchup seeing it turn into a 7-2, 7-3 kind of territory. Flores being picked out here by Alamau. That's going to open up some good verts as well, of course, as we go to kitchen and dining for the 3rd round.
Also, both teams here having to play a bunch of different operators in the first 3 rounds, whether it's the passive stuff like Castle and Flores, or more aggressive stuff like NGR playing Alibi now, 2 rounds basically. They're trying to feel each other out still, figure out what is the pace, who's gonna set it, but first round G2, next round D0, and now in round number 3, it's Doty opening kill onto Canadian, who's in these opening engagements every single round so far.
Yeah, big operator as well to lose on the Stallers. Hello, back to back into back, and there's an early plan as well from Alamau, straight in towards site. Bolo just sitting in towards office, thinks he's got a good angle, but no, Plank goes down successfully. For the side of G2, Pampas, who tries to take the push over towards Solar, he can't make his way out of the doorway, and so far, for the 3rd round in a row, it's been rather one-sided for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, this is insane. G2 with a great read there, maybe from previous studies, saying, you know what, they have a weakness here in their defensive side on kitchen. We just go for a quick plan to do that. On the window repels with 3 members, go into trophy window, open the soft wall, and just plant in the first 45, 60 seconds of the active round, basically. Bottom number 5, he might be great, but not that great. Another flawless back-to-back, but for different teams.
Yeah, incredible. What a start. Yeah, and it's a total flip as well for G2 when you kind of look at their map pick of Clubhouse, the map we haven't really seen from it. So it goes to that workshop territory. Hello, Nave. That's a nice little pick over towards the game's window, and that's going to be Uno falling early. So again, we continue this little roller coaster of rounds. It's G2, then it's DZ, then it's G2, now it's DZ. In terms of the opening kill here, good start for DarkZero, especially on this basement side. Bolo down towards bot west main stairs. He's got entry over towards Boiler, and it is being watched, understanding that, again, for G2, they like these fast entry pushes. Doty in towards Boiler already does kind of probably say that they want to go fast in towards Wine.
Yeah, but Benji is there with a drone, just saying, you know, Doty, this might not be clear in your ace this time, so please don't die early. We need that heartbeat capability, and they will join out that player on West Main Staircase, force the movement. Now G2, with that loss of Uno early on, they will start to slow things down. Alamos very alone here.
It's a 1-on-1. Alamau Gumai gives away the position on the vault in. Nice shots coming through. It's a 2-on-1 actually with Pampas and Canadian both holding this top library position. 1-for-1 trades elsewhere. Doty winning that battle over towards site. In fact, he's in towards storage already. A couple of bees buzzing from the Hive launcher utilized by Benja before going down, who did lose his life on the main breach. At least they've got good pressure both sides of the map here. But Pambazu does get the kill onto Virtue. Ball from Canadian is aggressive, but it is also successful. Alamau to fall. And as the opening 4 rounds have now gone, another one-sided affair, this time for DarkZero, down to just Doty. Despite good positioning, despite getting a kill, all that has been for naught.
He's been on site for like 40 seconds, by the way. They have no idea. They try and plant Doty, see what happens. There's Evil Eyes, they got intel now. He's not in the best position.
Too much utility, that still needed to be clear.
Let's see. The first team, I think, to change things around, kind of giving up the way that they were playing. It's like a game of chicken. And G2 so far, for this round, they're playing a lot more passive utility operators. You want the Grim alive, the Flores alive, the Lion alive, the Nomad alive. The only true entry you can really lose early on right now is arguably LML on the box. So I'm curious to see how much more time will be spent this round from G2's side before we start seeing some actual action happening. Because with the other lineup, I feel like they're gonna go slower.
Yeah, big stack on this solo side from both teams kind of means that Nate's a little bit on an island on that south side of the map where he's just playing that Legion, spread the Gumite, so he's got a large map control that he has to kind of watch over, and he lost his life early too as well. That's a big loss. At least Canadian from down below inside of Dining uses that vert nicely through the floorboards. A little bit more of a scrappy round. Never mind, G2 come out on top, just winning the gunfights again just through sheer speed on entry. That has just been like a go button. They are constantly spamming every single round. Benja gets the plant. We still had 2 minutes in the round. Does not matter. Canadian's by himself in the 1 versus 4. He's down below court. Benja cooking inside a kitchen. They get themselves another round win. 3 here for G2. So if there is that fast rush from G2, people are in position. That last round, Nave by himself, no one could help him out. No one could trade the kill either. And it just meant that G2 were able to go from a 5-on-5 to eventually a 5-on-1. Canadian tries to get aggressive. Obviously, when a team's going fast and you feel like maybe you need to match that pace, you want to go for these aggressive plays, Alamal's ready for it. We already saw the chirping coming into this round. That will hype him up even more, but eventually he does get traded back in a bit of a delay. Pembazu as well gets involved, and suddenly in an outside library balcony with the kit will just slow things down on the Flores.
Looks so good for G2 there, but a few gunfights going the wrong way. LML finds himself injured in the balcony with, I was going to say no help inside, but Virtue rotating over. He's going to prioritize that. Unu, though, whilst that's going on, gets isolated because he was alone. Nave with another aggressive advancement, jumping out a window, full sending into a gunfight.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably summarized, I think, this entire first half, where when G2 have won, it's that fast-paced rush, blitzkrieg gameplay where they just go in towards the site, hit some really good shots. DarkZero winning rounds as well, when they're kind of emulating that a little bit on the defense, trying to go for these spawn peaks, vault outs, getting aggressive, trying to just halt G2 before G2 overrun them. So far, it's been a wonderful first half. Not counting this round out just yet, though, with Alamal and Virtue. The one good thing with this fast-paced gameplay is you still have time. If you get then the ability to have a kind of second option here. So slow down, 60 seconds, see what you can find. Can you create a couple of 1v1s?
Of course, if you can make this a close round as well, just get into your opponent's head a little bit here. Don't make them feel like they have any space in the map. You see right there, Beaulo starts walking too much forward. Virtue is there. All of a sudden, the gap is closing.
50 seconds time, not that much of a factor, not just yet at the very least. Kit still does need to be recovered, and Alamal is quite low, but flashes, along with smokes, does give them utility over towards site. For DarkZero now, no more wandering. We saw that from Beaulo over towards the hallway. Everyone else just has to hold site, hold key positions. Remember, DZ have kind of also got control of Kit still as well over towards library side.
No, they do. So now G2, they got a problem solved. Yeah, hatches, they aren't even open up for you, buddy. That is too bad. And yeah, 2 smokes, 3 flashes, but Diffuse is outside the building. Guman takes that amount even further down that health bar, and now things are getting a bit dire because DC, as you said, just waiting in those prime positions.
Flashes go out from Virtue, has to make entry, needs to make contact. Does so, there's another one for Virtue. Now on 2 versus 2. Drop down, Guman need to pull that out. Low on health, and the Barstock fight has been won. Nicely done from Pembazu and Nave, but talk about a little comeback there as well for G2 to salvage that round, get it towards the final stages, and for what felt like maybe the first time in the half, Pengu, we had a bit of a close affair. Every other round was like a 5-on-1. And I'm very curious to see, indeed, what the pacing will be like here from DarkZero, because I wouldn't be surprised to see them also pick up the pace to maybe try and catch G2 off guard.
I was going to say, you can't give them too much space here. Oh, it looked like a bad beginning there for NTR, but the Mayor is definitely in town. Finds Benja a huge pick that's warding off the board here to allow DC more of a plant situation. The C4 is gone now. We know DC, the most plants in this tournament so far. Try on 8 plants single-handedly. So DC's entire win con typically is on attack to get down that diffuser.
Yeah, and no water now. Flashes, not too many of them from NJR, and it's not like you have to deal with the Ying band down anyway, but still a good operator to take off the board. More droning, so clearly seeing a bit more of an emphasis in the droning gameplay from DarkZero compared to what we saw from G2.
Yeah, I mean, again, that the pace, 1 minute 30 seconds, the slowest round so far, only 1 death in the server, and DC, despite the yellow ping information, are still playing their cards pretty slow there. Bambat just now using those ass creatures to open up the floor, soften things up, and Nave holding angles, expecting a peek, and it is indeed happening, but he does not connect the shots.
Doty playing that library hallway on the Solus to deny information on the backside. Lovely Nitro Cell from Uno, catches out NJR on the rappel. That was a large amount of pressure that you can apply from that window, now gone for the side of DarkZero. They don't have have that anymore does now kind of make their attack a little bit more one-dimensional from the solar side hit without that bedroom pressure.
DC's been so slow that G2 has fully rotated all their players because we was just spent Gen Master bedroom. Now there are 2-3 players from G2, Alama, Uno, and Virtue all holding that angle, forcing DC to commit into a bad gunfight situation or rotate it across the map. But the one roamer of Doty is also there to shut down that player.
Yeah, Doty was able to get that kill and now has still got library stairs control for G2. 3 versus 3 trade did come through eventually from DarkZero, and that slow pace round play style that we anticipated has come to fruition. Only 30 seconds remaining as Doty continues to battle. He's kept control of that position the entire round, and even until the end, start to finish from Doty towards library hallway. That's been under control for G2. DarkZero thought they maybe had a rotate option late round, but they never cleared it out.
Canadian. Oh, he gets the kill somehow, but it's still a 1v2 with 10 seconds left, and Troy's got to really clutch up here.
10 seconds remaining. Canadian to the check closet. That's so clean with the bailiff. Now has an opportunity to kind of get that plant down. Just didn't have information outside of maybe Doty. Doty, of course, around that position. Library side eventually slipped in towards piano, though. A little bit closer on that bathroom side. Good reposition from Doty. Understanding at that point, he'd done his job. That rotate had been done. You know where the last threat is. Move up a little bit. Get an off-angle position and catches Canadian off guard. And obviously right now for DarkZero, this is probably a really good start for them. And then I say that and cast a Curse Pambasu, who dies to Virtue. It's like, oh, good start. Main breed to go. Second garage as well in terms of the entry point, and then someone dies. Not ideal. Didn't quite see how that happened. I don't know if that was like from a vert, because Pambasu on the buck, you ideally want them up above, opening up those floorboards. I can't imagine he would have just peeked that main breach.
No, I mean, it shouldn't have, right? It's too early in the round. It'll be a little bit too quick, but also sometimes you want to play off pace, right? Catch opponents by surprise. Surely no one's peeking the main breach, right? But Virtue wins out that engagement. He himself had a phenomenal performance so far. The second highest rated player for G2, of course, Benji being the highest. And the thing is, Beaulo-wise, roam clearing doesn't have the full picture here, and he doesn't know that there are, in fact, 2 players instead of dining, but it doesn't matter. Doty with 10 kills now shuts down Beaulo.
Juno as well gets rid of Canadian, and so far the roam clear from DarkZero hasn't been as effective as they would have liked, and GR trying to shoot out that Nitro Cell does so effectively in the 2 versus 5. So far, G2 have just not really given up much until Uno kind of holds that angle. Good little swing from NJR, and just salvages the round a little bit now in a 2 versus 4. Understanding on a site like this as well, you can create these 1 versus 1s, but you got to probably pick up the pace now, unfortunately, with only 1 minute 10 seconds left.
I mean, this is a defensive team that says, we do not want you in the building, we don't want you to sit up, we want you to have no space whatsoever, and they're shutting DarkZero out entirely in this round.
Ooh, a little bit of damage from that gas babe, unnecessarily taken from NJR, further making it difficult to swing these corners when you're on such low health. Even just those elbow shots and body shots now will do so much more damage. Flash in towards Boiler, which is of course where Alamau is playing. One more gas babe, more time denial. Nafe with a good lurk through blue though, not being watched from G2. He's been able to slip in, so suddenly creates the 2 versus 3, and they know that the smoke is inside of Boiler, so that's at least information on one player. The last 2, well, they should know Virtue's on site, 1 unknown.
They could actually go for plant here. Only downside, no smokes in the NGR, no flashes either. So utility-wise, not much to work with. Help-wise for DC, not much either. In G2, they got Doty in the solos. He can see where and when the plant will go down, and he can communicate that to his teammates, and then they can try and isolate on it.
Doty also has those 2 impacts as well that might be needed here and will do a lot of damage. If they can't quite get the angle, throw the impacts in. That will do enough. Of course, with the solos, we can find the planter, calls out the information for Virtue. Nafe's going to get that down, and that's going to be it. Virtue just gets all 3 of them. Obviously, as soon as Doty just pulls out that scanner, it's like,
time.
Hey, they're planting, their time, he's ready, gun up from Virtue, gets the 3 kills in the round, and G2 take a lead here for the first time, really. I mean, they've had 1 round leads, but for the first time, a bit of separation.
Proper lead. I would like to see DarkZero go for maybe like a single round of like really limited or like single or angle bomb site rush, basically. Like, for example, basement breach. Open the main wall, rush in with like a blitz, a glass, etc., and make something happen. Nafe in this round on a bar attack is showing us the blitz gameplay, but Beaulo dies early. Lion's not gone from action. They're also playing Brava. They're playing double heartbeat. So while Nafe is quick on the blitz, everything else from DC is screaming a slow take, and they lose their opening player. And Beaulo, who's now 1-7. Alamont drops some C's in the chat. G2 are not too impressed with the pace right now.
Yeah, and it's very easy to just look at Beaulo 1-7, but in that moment, it's Doty Mudroom. He's the one that's pushing out, being aggressive, going for these little peaks, and that's the difference right now between these 2 teams, is G2 are happy to play the windows, play the aggressive on entry and entry denial. We saw it back in the first half as well. They were just so rapid in their attacks. What does then Doty do? He just rotates off, plays library stairs. He knows their drones are going to come through. They want to clear him. They want to try and get a bit of this information over towards Mud. He swings back. So they're constantly on the move here, G2, and it's making it so difficult for DarkZero.
And now everyone's kind of standing still, figuring out, okay, what exactly is happening right now, because no one can feel movement from the other side. Nave will take the shield in his back. Oh my god, no. He put the shield in his back to make less noise, but there is indeed a Frostmat and Goomite on the window. Doty swings for another and a third. This prime Doty with the disrespect.
All you can do is kind of facepalm in that moment. The Vault over, though, does give Pampazoo a look back into this round. Never over. Minute 15, 2 versus 3. At least a couple of more kills here for DarkZero. They overload the Mud Library Stairs position, but Uno then gets the trade through Barstock, and JR finds one onto Virtue. Spray needed to probably hit there to create the 1 versus 1. Now they know. Oh, good tap from NJR. Creates said 1 versus 1, and suddenly the round is extremely winnable. Okay, NJR salvages the round for DarkZero.
And G2, they play this like big intel game now with both Valkyrie and Solace, 3 C4s in pocket, Capcom and Benja Master, so a bit of a switch up here from G2. Also, they're not swinging the windows anymore the same way as previously, and this might just be, oh, what? I thought this was going to take out Nave, but no, not a single point of damage gets done to him. He stays alive. It could have been a disaster for DarkZero, but to stay up.
Very similar setup to the last time we saw this round, though, where Doty got library control. Nice opening kill for Alamount onto Canadian. They lose the Bees for the remainder of this one. NJR, the hero as well, can't survive it anymore. Pampazoo feeling the pump, but he got the kill back onto Virtue. Keeps it a 3v4. Look at Nave just go forward, though, playing off of the remaining Hive launchers that were there from Canadian previously, and that has allowed him to push in from bedroom to closet. A little bit of vert control here for DarkZero. Again, remember, it's kitchen and dining. Uno had no idea that Nave just continued forward.
Uno was shot at earlier from Nave from the same position, but they had no idea what was happening around him. Despite the Valkyrie, despite the Soul, despite all this intel from the defensive side, they don't know that Nave pushed through.
It was a big kill on to Doty earlier as well. He was holding top library stairs. That's kind of given now DarkZero full top level control. And so now for Benja and Alamau, it's all about, can they find positions to defend? Alamau still up above inside of Piano is 1 for DarkZero. There's the contact onto Benja down below. So Alamau's the last line of defense now for G2, holding Hatch, maybe trying to see if he can create a couple of 1 versus 1s and then deny plant later in the round. 30 seconds left. He could be good for 1 here and should be onto Bolo. That's Kit as well. Now, 2 more to go, and he finds it. It's a quad so far, and now needs the ace to clutch up. Pampazoo and Alamau both low on health.
One from either side, 10 seconds.
Getting that plant down. Alamau still above. For the yellow pick as well! It's the ace for Alamau! Are there any words for DarkZero? No, just a wry smile.
And now if you're DarkZero, your mental, your confidence, it's gotta be a little bit shut off those rounds not going your way. So I wouldn't be surprised if things would go a little bit slower right now. As you see, NJR holding angles, Panda holding angles. No one's really being a playmaker. DC wants like a 5v5 clean round to get closer.
I think that's the natural progression, right? Yeah. When you kind of feel like maybe there's that pressure will slow it down. But I think for DarkZero, I wouldn't be opposed to maybe just seeing them pick up the pace when it matters on the execute. I'd like to see maybe Pampazoo try and get a good lurk position on the Nook hit site. Yes, they'll do their drone game, especially playing into the shock drones of Canadian, try and clear out some of this utility, but I think DZ have probably, one of the lapses for them has probably been their time factor, and also probably dealing with some of these roam players like Doty, who's 12 and 6. He's been a menace. He's had basically freedom to run around the map. Canadian, really solid in just waiting and watching, knowing G2 like this roam game, especially on basement. They know that Doty's been running around. Let's just hold a good angle on one of the rotate options over towards trophy side, catches him out on the Solus, advantage DZ, although Pampazoo is down. Not too sure if he's in a position to get brought back up.
Yeah, it seems like this time that, okay, Doty's always a problem in the late stage of the round, so this time let's shut him down first. Again, no idea how Pamba got injured there. Might have been a C4 from Uno, I imagine, or something like that, because he doesn't have it any longer. And Benja is fishing with a second one as also. Something is up here on the library side of the map, but it doesn't really matter. Pamba's back up, 20 HP, a minute left for DarkZero, and then focus immediately back to that backside. Kitchen, dining, big garage, but Alamau with the extension inside a boiler almost gets shut down immediately, and that's a big moment there for
He's got no more gas babes either. He's out. He's gone, so there's only 50 seconds left. Sucking towards boiler. It does have the rotate available if he does want to back out of that position, but he holds even low on health, maybe anticipating that DarkZero won't think that he'll still be there when he's got no gas babes and he's low on health. You could probably think he'll fall back to sight. He holds the close angle momentarily. 30 seconds left here for the final push here. DarkZero needing to win this round to keep themselves alive on Chalet.
They're rotating again back and forth. DC a bit unsure. They don't know exactly what they want to do here, but they're saying, okay, down the hatch we go. 20 seconds. Smoke goes out. Canadian first man down perhaps here to start things off for DC.
Who knows? They're thinking towards mud might be a factor later in this round. Keep an eye on that one. Drop down successful. Yes, Virtue took a lot of health damage, but he is still alive. Nice little double swing push in towards Boiler. Canadian towards default opens it up. Can get this plan out successfully, but yeah, there is Uno coming in late to deny, but being watched by NJR. Really solid team effort. Just has to deny Virtue. Can't from that angle though, on the wrong side of the field. 4 versus 1. DarkZero with the plant, and Virtue, as good as he's been, surely not from this position with so low health. No, says NJR. We go another round here on Chalet.
So now for DarkZero, the plan is the same, I think. And I think the most important thing is not die early to Doty. And maybe even if you really want to target him like individually, try and figure out what orbit is Doty playing, where is he roaming, and maybe try and just hunt him down, because Doty is usually the most, singled out defending player, but even he in this round is closer to the side than on the roam itself. Now unleashing off the Solus, Uno taking that duty instead. Maybe Doty's saying, let me try and live a bit longer and stay alive for that long, like in the late rounds instead, because he also has value in those clutch moments when it's like a 3v3.
Deploy was shield blown up over towards the library hallway. Was actually facing the interesting direction of towards library stairs rather than towards piano, in the way that G2 kind of wanted to hold this with a bit of that office control. Giving up on that one. The Rotero is strong. Doty still holds top library stairs. Information here from Nave with a good drone on the mezzanine chimney, watching in towards Doty with a little bit of sightlines as well towards library. DZ's drone gameplay has been really solid so far in getting information. It's all just about now the execution.
Yeah, I think it comes down to this first opening engagement. If DC can find a kill or just not die themselves, that is the first step towards success for them. And G2, they opted to reinforce the Henshaw library. C4 goes out again, baiting DC in, thinking this is safe, right? No, it's not. A good strike back from Virtue.
That was Canadian that goes down, who had the kit as well on the Hibana. Hatch is still closed, but they do have the secondary hard bridge through Nave, so they can still get library hatch opened up if that's something they feel is a requirement. Oh, bench up, misses the shot. The Pampersu will punish that. Trade comes through west main stairs from Uno. Really apt timing, but Pampersu probably should not have been able to walk away with a kill there, so at least something for DarkZero. 3 versus 3, 60 seconds left.
It's a good trade and even numbers here. 3-on-3. Hatch gets opened up by Nave for that secondary hard breach. Thankfully for DarkZero, they brought back up in case Canadian would fall like he did. And now it comes down to where is the gap going to be. DarkZero, limited tools, no smokes to deny lines of sight, just 6 flashbangs, but there is a warden from the side of Virtue. Note, G2, no true plant deny, no smokes, no C4s. It comes down to gunplay. They have 4 impacts, but that won't get them much in this round with these current player positions.
Still 30 seconds. Would like to see maybe Beaulo get a Rotero towards that big window inside against. Clear all of that utility. Barbed wire, the frost mat. They haven't done that, especially if they do want to go for the ball later in the round as an option. NJR from the mezzanine has yellow ping information, but what an acute angle to try and find this shot. You've only got 15 seconds. You can't just sit here holding this angle for too long. Towards Barstock. Yellow ping's up above. Good information at least for G2, and they are ready for that drop. They are ready for that push from DarkZero. The drop down's not going to work from NJR, and G2 will take Chalet in the end.
I could see a world of both teams just go fight each other on the roam, hunt down those roam players, and maybe even more often than not, the game, or the rounds rather, will be decided by the roam game itself, who can shut down the roaming or who can shut down the entries.
Yeah, very curious to see, because obviously what we were listening to Fox say on the analyst desk earlier was that turtle gameplay that DarkZero might opt to bring and play here on Clubhouse, especially defense. You think about Church Arsenal, the way teams may look to contest this defensively. Yeah, sometimes they do go for a bit of that roam up above, but other times, and for probably the most part, you will see that large spread of 5 stack on site, holding to, holding blue, holding the site, and all of those rotate entries in. So and I think right now, from what I can see in the top-down view here, it looks like that will be the case.
Definitely. It looked like maybe a bit of an early roam there from DC, but no, they're just looking for a drone and maybe trying to give G2 the impression that they might have some presence elsewhere, but they don't. It will be a 5-man turtle. This coming out, denying those utility pieces, but grenades can't be cooked any longer. You don't have to worry about grenades, but more so the capital fire arrows from Uno, and of course the Candelas from Alamau on the Ying. And G2, they brought a very consistent lineup. They got soft breach, they got hatch breaching and wall breaching. Instead of playing Thatcher and hard breach, just play out the Maverick. They can do it both.
Virtue with the opening kill onto Nave. Nicely done through stock. Interesting that they've used those Coyote claws, not on the hatches, but of course on Triple Church Wall. Makes it more difficult to open up. Secondaries are available. Hello, Doty. That's traded towards side. Does get one eventually traded by Pampersu, but again, it's that fast-paced G2 execute style gameplay that we're seeing. As soon as they got a bit of that stock control, opened up the hatches, just drop down, everyone push onto the site. Similarities immediately from Chalet here, even onto Clubhouse, and even on a very defensive-sided site of Church Arsenal Club. G2 make it work. Unfortunately there for DarkZero, that is definitely a bit of a weak spot, but they've brought it themselves, so they will understand that. G2, though, going immediately for a bit of a roam, as they do obviously have Virtue on the Maverick to get through a lot of this electrified wall and deal with Nave, who's playing the Bandit. A little bit slower here from G2, but that's okay because we've seen already from them, it might be slow for the first 30-40 seconds, but once they go, they don't stop.
Yeah. Also mind that DarkZero played this map against NIP in the first opening day, and if G2 watched that lot, which they definitely did, they know Kin always flanks in the basement up the blue staircase, the main staircase, and they are ready for this. And again, the perfect catch. This is the prep work coming in from G2. They saw it against NIP, it's happening again here, and they're saying, you are predictable, we will counter.
Canadian gone again early. Just under 90 seconds left. NJ are really hoping he can find something from the vert down below, but no, nothing to be found. I think at this point, Pambas, who's thinking, all right, might have to be just run out time, jump out time. Oh, an opportunity. He did get spotted, and that now makes it a little bit more difficult to try and catch that player on the rappel outside of Candles. Double kill, though, comes the way. Trade, 3 versus 4, still advantage in towards Garage, though. The trade again. Pambazoo expecting the entry. Nicely done. Does now fortify that Garage position and gives DZ the advantage.
Yeah, meet aggression with more aggression, but do better in that case. And Pamasu knows there's a risk here. Crossing the door and the boiler will make it rotate and go elsewhere. What this means, though, is G2, they have about 20 seconds now of time, or it's a 2v2 instead of a 2v3, but they don't have the fuse kit, they're not near the bomb site, so they can't necessarily act upon this, so things will stabilize for DC on the attacking side. They'll get those angles lined up with the crossfires and just play a nice, stable round for this end game.
Doty getting good position. Rafters, under 30 seconds left. Alamau will grab that kit. Where does he take it, though? He can't really go up red. Surely still barbed wire. Pambasu over towards main with a very long rotate. Doki's at least got... He is going up red, Alamau. He's forcing it. He's going to take on the battle with Nate. Even though he's half white, he still wins it anyway. Good position. Place the mirror window in towards Cash. Tries to get the kill onto Con. Good plant towards Reed. But guess what? Pambazoo's outside the building. Gets the kill. Double again. 4 in the round for Pambazoo. Massive individual effort in that round for DZ to get the round win.
And I know some people are going to say, Apollo's going to play Ash, Intri going to get 20 kills a game. Like, no, that's not the case right now. Nobody's doing that. He is playing that flex supportive role.
Not in this meta.
Not this meta. No, not at all. And this might be one of the slowest rounds on Clubhouse so far. It is a basement attack, of course. And we see DC, all 5 members primed and ready downstairs. A lot of plant deny here, both the echo and the smoke.
Same setup, though, from G2. Bring Virtue on that Maverick, open up stock. This time around, though, surely Nath has learned his lesson. You're playing that Warden 2. You don't really need to peek that down below into the hatch. You want to play on-site anchor, use those glasses late round for the execute, especially against the Candelas of the Ying. So really paramount that Nath stays alive here. He's a big win condition for DarkZero.
Well, it's absolutely. And I think Clubhouse all comes down to, if you are a good attacking team, you can win the attacking rounds, no matter how favorable the defensive side is. If you can solve the problems in front of you, and there are so many ways to do it on Clubhouse. That's why it's a beautiful map. There's a lot of operations you can flex between, a lot of different ways to approach the map from here. You got 3 different hatches, 2 staircases, garage flank as well. It all comes down to G2's in-game leading skills right now and problem solving. Where do they want to strike, and how do they want to do it?
Got a bit of main stairs pressure as well from G2. No real flank options for DarkZero. It's firmly on-site defense. Can work, especially when you're playing into the Echo, Ward, and Mirror combo, as even more so with the smoke. That's the lineup they brought that is going to help them in this situation. Uno now with the incendiaries to open up that generator position inside of Blue. That is an angle and a half. Oh, it's not even an angle, it's a pixel from Nave onto Virtue. And then JR as well gets rid of Doki coming from main stairs. Alamau can't find anything from this position of triple in towards Church. Drop down from Benja. No real opportunity in the 2 versus 5. Kit is over towards secret side of Blue. That is going to be very difficult to retrieve. They've lost Benja. It's only Alamau on a 1 versus 5. An ace he's already had in the series, but not from a position such as this. And DarkZero should be getting their second round here on Clubhouse.
Come on, Carl, do something. He's in chat, holding an angle, waiting for DC to approach. There's 10 seconds left. We all know this round is over. This round is done.
He just wants them to rush into him, maybe pad the stats a little bit, time to run out. Talk about the discipline here, though, from DarkZero. Yes. It doesn't seem like much, but the fact that they're not just running at him as 4, as 5. We've all played Siege before. We all know what it's like. We've seen teams throw away good positions because they go chasing for that final kill because you think you've got the numbers. It'll be fine. We'll overload him, but just discipline, hold your angles. We don't have to go and chase him. This is SI. Who cares? It's one kill. He can't win the round.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what the angle is here. It's like one or two people on the roof, just on the office hatch, lurking about. Mostly rotate to a CCTV sets. But again, G2 are doing things in like a bit of a different rotation here. You'd think, okay, CC wall goes first, then you go Jacuzzi.
Different order.
Exactly, the order is different here from them. And again, they're keeping DarkZero guessing as to when are they going to do it and what are they exactly going to do. We know because we see all the operators that Glass is going to be the main pushing force on the attacking side, but we don't yet know where they're going to enter from and where they're going to try and plant.
The biggest question for me is Pambazu. Has he been droned out? Because guess what? Look at that Pengu, top right. There's only one drone left, so a lot of those have been denied. Canadian on the solos doing his job, you would imagine. Pamba knows there's one on the balcony because noise has been made by Benja. He's basically tried to bait him out. A couple of shots, look towards CC window, anticipating. So whether he actually knows Pamba's there or not, I'm not too sure again because we haven't really got a lot of drones on the field for G2.
Yeah, it's gonna be smoke, seeing Candelas out, execute from G2 with 60 seconds to go. It's gonna be explosive.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. The G2 typically go, they don't stop. There's going to be the drop down into logistics, but DarkZero are ready and waiting. Good positions again on site, similar to basement. Good win from Uno, coming from logistics drop, and Alamau one out on the glass with those smokes, and two more still available from said Uno with that Ying. Candelas to also go, so good utility from G2 on the push into site, and they've got good positions. Alamau holding main stairs, but Canadians a big win condition on the solos. He can deny plant.
Below, C4 and Solar Scanner, so they get side control now, but DC, they're playing from below. Pamela C4 missed this, and now Plant Deny might not happen from downstairs.
And Doty's watching that hatch. The Canadian knows he has to go back up. It doesn't matter. Pamba clean, straight through said wire. Uno to get the plant down. Canadian got the kill as well onto Doty, who was watching the hatch. Uno drops down below. That's the only thing he can really do now, and for the 1-on-2 retake in favor of DarkZero. Left side, right side, hard to know. But Uno, no information here. Besides the shots now, he knows there's one to the left. DarkZero don't have to rush this and talk about the long arm of the law behind the bomb chassis. I don't think Uno's going to be able to get the angle, and Bambazu was sneaking from behind anyway as the secondary, but it did not matter because I honestly think he couldn't get that angle. So we're really seeing that be utilized by G2. It's been super successful. The Maverick as well from Virtue, we've seen open up stock hatch and then push down himself, so he's able to then play kind of solo. We do see the Jackal clear as well up above from G2, so definitely just being a bit more checklisty in this particular round, but that's pretty much been the case for them here on Clubhouse so far. They're not really doing anything unconventional. When they go fast, and we've seen that, and that sort of execute heavy play style, but they still do everything else necessary before that.
Yeah, we saw this time that G2 did not get a flying drone inside a master bedroom in the prep phase, and there were jammers denied information. So they're thinking, okay, they might actually go for a roam this time. Let's attack a repeat onto the Jackal so that in case they're roaming, we can find them and get those kills. Well, turns out DarkZero, they played that mind game successfully, because now you force somebody onto an operator solely for the roam clear, but there is no roam clear to be had. So G2 getting less value out of their operator lineup. Or what are they missing now? No Ying in play. It's just the Capital and regular good old gun operators to secure this round for G2. And it is that 3-3 or 4-2-half. So this is a great mind game play from DC.
Yeah, again, defensively for DarkZero, playing out of dirt, playing deep in the backside of Arsenal, right? So they're not really going for that roam or looking really for any kind of pressure. We're not seeing anyone push main stairs, go for these peaks up above, try and maybe get someone off guard over towards kitchen. They are very much firmly sitting sight and waiting for G2 to push them. That's fine, but G2 have already shown so much proficiency, not just in this map, but really in this series, in being able to clear out these positions. You want to contest, you want to make it difficult to come down this hatch, but every time you peek, you don't know what you're going to be looking at, and Virtue gets aggressive. Proxy alarm gives, how does he not die to that? Turns around for the proxy, but Bambazu just wasn't ready for it on the backside of the generator. And that's the smoke now gone. 30 seconds opens up a pathway for G2.
Such a great play. Get the mirror in the walk down staircase, get that kill, but also attack church at the same time. But G2 are everywhere right now.
Who's watching wall? Who's watching triple here? This is
no one.
Free push in for Doty. They're so concerned for the blue push, which is what G2 have shown pretty much every other time on this particular site. That Doty's just walked straight in, gets the plant down. They can watch that from main stairs. G2 have just slaughtered DarkZero offensively in this round. Doty with a double. It's only Canadian just left. How has he gone from dirt up towards kitchen? I got no idea. Nevertheless, though, G2 are about to make it 3-3 as Canadian gets shut down by Uno. What a sensational round from G2.
And very different orbital lineup here from G2 compared to DarkZero. First of all, they're roaming top 4 on the basement defense. They're playing Solus, Valkyrie, and Mozzie, as well as Fenrir. So basically 5 entirely different operators in that of DarkZero. And DC, they got the same attack and lineup as G2 did. They got, the hard breaching in the Maverick. They got the side executing the game. They got, Buck for verticality. They got Jackal for their own clear. You need, if you're DarkZero right now, to find opening kills. They don't have as much utility. They don't have a capital. They don't have as many ways to problem solve around this. So if you're DC right now, you're looking at going relatively quickly here and ideally getting a kill.
Towards Secret, it is Benja that gets that opening kill onto Nave. One of the hard breaches gone. Well, there's the second hard breacher gone. This is a disaster of a start in terms of the second half of DarkZero. Pampersu maybe just thinking, let's just go fast here. This is not really what we want to play in the roam game. That side should be a little bit more vulnerable. The Fenrir don't mind though. How effective is that? The visibility becomes 0. Virtue plays that perfectly on the Fenrir, and they know there's another one coming out of dirt. They're into sight. What is Beaulo looking at? It's a 4 versus 1. Virtue was just in blue. He just killed your teammate. You're not even looking in that direction. Virtue has just played that perfectly. One of the star players in this series hasn't really made many mistakes. On the Solus as well, so certainly again, like the Mozzie before, can be annoying in denying drones. Doty here's the repel. Well, the angle was just a little bit off. Beaulo ready for it from Doty. He's done that. He's probably seen that play time and time again and deals with it. Finally, it feels like for the first time on club, an early advantage for DarkZero. Now it's about capitalizing. You're not going to get many opportunities against a team like G2 where they give you a bit of an in. There's one for free, and it's the Solus. So now the drone game can come into effect. We saw how good it was for DarkZero back on Chalet. So play into it. You've got lots of time. Get the drones game. You can obviously clear out any kind of roam towards site. This is a really solid opportunity for DarkZero.
It really is. Now they gotta show that they got what it takes with the advantage, etc. And that thorn in their side that is Doty and Chalet, that is gone, as you mentioned. But the thing is, the only thing about DarkZero that I haven't liked in the series is that when they get their early advantages, it's often because G2, they give it to them. They allow them that opening. If Doty doesn't jump out that window, there's no way DC gets to open and kill at least that quickly. But now we see them, they're ready to go, and they're doing it together.
Trying to be aggressive towards Bathroom, eventually loses out. NJR with a good angle, and finally something is happening for DarkZero. 5-on-3, again playing that drone game, getting this information. No misdroning this time, and certainly no pesky Mozzies, as that one gets shot out by Alamau on the dock, falls back to Cash. They've got to make sure though, don't of course now think this is going to be a bit of an easy round. Cash and CCTV certainly can be defended by 3 players. You've still got to really get good information towards site. This is a lovely drone from Pamper, but it does get shot down. Understanding that Alamau very much playing behind the bomb chassis.
Alamau could clutch up here. Soft load to construction, long lines of sight, dog stims in pocket, good weapon as well with that zoom scope. So if you can hold on to green box and get some kills here and stop DC's push, that could be a way in for G2. But out of Alamau's position, I'm not sure what else they have that is of high value. Virtue, bottom mid staircase, not highly impactful. And there we go. Alamau's down for the count, injured and now confirmed.
Yeah, obviously was able to maybe get himself back up, but it did get confirmed, like you said, by Beaulo. The Nitrocell onto Nave is successful though in a response. Virtue rotating from rafters all the way to top red, so that offers something a little bit different. NGR droning, he would have anticipated someone to be around rafters. Now spots it with the drone, no one there, and he just did he just spot the leg of Virtue? I don't know if he did. Oh, either way, that one confirms it. 25 seconds left. This is a 2 versus 4. You push in too soon. You push in too early. Virtue is very capable from this position. They have to be so clinical here, DarkZero, to not make mistakes. Flash goes in. Canadian with the little sneak in push. It's a nice little turtle plant from Canadian, and NJR finally clears that top red position. He was droning it out. He was ready for it. Nicely done from DarkZero. At no point did they overrush the attack there. Over to Gym Bedroom now for the 9th round. There was a thought maybe of bringing the Glaston into similar to G2, but no, they opt against it. Once again, the Capital has been very prevalent. And they do bring the double hard breach, the Thermite, and the Ace, anticipating that they will look to open up, obviously, Kennels, then over towards Jacuzzi, maybe the single wall con as well. And then use that Capital and Flores to displace, dislodge, get rid of some utility. Doki towards top red, but rotate in towards Cash. A very common setup right now that we're seeing from G2. Not really changing too much up. I mean, bench over towards Rafters, really doubling down the defense on this Cash and TV side, but that's about it. Everything else looks pretty conventional.
Oh, but there we go. DC with an aggressive play.
Oh, wow.
We don't see this from them so often, right? They just breach the wall, instantly jumps in the window. Beaulo starts things off. Also in a heater right now, 7 kills to his name. And G2, one of the first times here in Clubhouse because they got caught off by surprise.
Yeah, they certainly did, because that's not the conventional play from DarkZero.
No.
They opt to go for the fast pace off of the breach, and Beaulo then catches them off guard. Benj, and the fact that, I don't know if they droned him out or not, but again, you don't always see that Rafters being held on this particular side, and he was ready for it. Really well done here from DarkZero. And not only that, but they're starting to enable Beaulo. Doty's just feeling the pressure down below from above. Nothing he could do. He got stuck over towards top red. He couldn't make that rotate back over towards Cash. Otherwise, he would have died for free. Instead, he has to just hold the angle, hope they push into him, maybe get one and then done. And ultimately now for DarkZero, they're looking for a second attacking round in a row.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of performance and this kind of playstyle that's off-pace from DC, that's what we saw from them against teams like FearX, NIP, and GK. But they've had a harder time making that a possibility against G2 because of how tight they play as a team and how in their face they are as a team as well. So I'm really proud of them to see them figuring out their problems after a map and a half and say, okay, let's try and make that new system work against a really, really good team. And this has been their cleanest round so far, at least from the attacking side.
And again, it's that set play routine there from DarkZero that paid dividends. They're again also getting Beaulo involved now. You know, it's very easy to look at that last map and be like, oh, he went like 3-9 or 3-10. He started a bit slow here. Everyone wants to point out the negatives, but now he's starting to get cooking a little bit, now finding that confidence. And if it's because DZ put him in that position to do that, it's like, hey, we're going to open main bridge. You're then going to go in. We trust you to get those entry kills. He delivers, gets the double, 35 seconds left. And again, like the round prior, they've slowed it down. They're on the same page, the same pace. They know what the win condition is. Go for default inside a gym. Una can't really do anything from logistics, and Virtue's too slow on the rotate. Yeah, indeed, too slow. The Nitro Cell was the right play. He just didn't get there in the right time.
Oh boy, what now? 5v2 retake here from outside the building, on the rappels, in the hallways, in bathroom. D2 are completely locked out.
Yeah, the fact that Uno and Virtue have both stayed alive throughout that plant really does sort of highlight DarkZero not really being too worried about the kills, about the players. They probably know one's going to go and try and play Vert down below. They probably know there's one towards logistics watching, but they can't watch Jim. So again, it's just all about understanding what do we need to do. We need to get plant. We don't need to worry too much about clearing out the rest of the site towards the backside of logistics. We just go straight to Jim. We've got balcony control. It's a 5-on-2. We don't have to rush this. Good drone usage. And really right now from DarkZero, we are seeing two very different gameplay play styles between these two teams.
Oh yeah, let's go from really fast in your face to make them problem solve against us.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting change up, because I thought maybe there would be a world in which G2 would be like, let's go the opposite direction, let's go super fast, let's go super aggressive. But instead it's like, actually, let's bring it back a little bit. DarkZero are good, they're a slow team. Let's let the clock maybe become their enemy. Slow things down, bring that wall denial, try and make sure, can you keep Jacuzzi? Well, I mean, there is a bit of, maybe a bit of both, but still, we'll still go fast. Alamel just goes for the right hand, catches Peppers too, which is big onto the buck. But ultimately, the game plan here is probably going to try and keep Jacuzzi, I would imagine, the wall closed. You've got the electricals, and along with obviously the tuber out. Although from what I can see right now, I don't know if I can see the electros on Jacuzzi wall. So I'm very curious to see what the game plan is. In fact, they've electrified top red into Cash.
Oh yeah, it's on the extension near the construction wall and Cash wall. And then you see like the util operators, Tuber, Kite, and Mute, they're playing passive on side. The less util operators like Valkyrie and Solus, they're very actively roaming on the map, first floor and basement. So there's an order here, there's a hierarchy. There's the 3-man and the 2-man.
They've also left Kennel soft as well, so they don't really, and they've opened up a couple of holes, so they make that a little bit annoying. So clearly right now for G2, it's kind of like, let's defend territory more than the site itself. You see some teams, they'll bring this same lineup, but they'll electrify and fortify Jacuzzi. They'll play at the back towards main and logistics. That gives up all of balcony. That gives up all of con. But in this instance, though, you've got all of Cash and you've got all of con. You don't have top red, but you don't need it.
Sure, that drone has seen or heard Doty, right? No, they have no idea. It was right next to me the entire time. It's a disaster.
Well, I think in this instance, again, with the way that this round has played out, because it's so difficult for DarkZero to just kind of get the positions they want, they've gone below. And then G2 understand that, and they're holding these positions off guard. DarkZero have been really good on the drone game, but there's only 2 drones up. So those have been denied again from Alamel as well, running around on the Solus. And it kind of goes back to what you were saying. It's like, you know your role. You do this, you do that. And I feel like that's what G2 have kind of brought to this 10th round. You know, really structured gameplay.
I feel the same way. There's a very clear, definitive line here. Oh, what a way to go out there from Benjamin. So through the drone hole in such a strong position as well. Alamel 50-50 gunfight. He wins that one. Nave looking up the staircase rather than on the platform, leaving just NJR in a 1v3.
40 seconds to make miracles happen for NJR. Very much a miracle would be required from this position, because now everyone else has just floated back towards site for Uno Virtue around that 90 and main stairs position. Alamau as well inside a bathroom. He won't get cleared out initially as NJR makes his way into site. He doesn't even have Kit. Kit is actually in the hands of G2 over towards the main side. Drop down. Nice little kill onto Alamau, but time and Kit, the biggest factor on main stairs, and then has to run back up. There's no time left. He flashes himself. He also flashes the enemy in Uno. Uno gets the kill as soon as he's no longer full white, and G2 went a very comprehensive round with the way that they brought a structured game plan to that one. If they want to have that, so a little bit versatile with that Ulster, but like you said, that drop down in the kitchen hatch is also really solid.
You know the camera is, but you can't quite reach. It feels bad, but at least we know that Beaulo is an IQ player who will use the gadget, unlike some IQ players that we've seen. Same with Warden, of course. But you're up against 4 C4s, Kite, claws on the hatches, 2 impacts from Doki-san on the Valkyrie, so a lot of different explosive utility here from the defensive lineup that could easily net them 1 or 2 kills.
So 5-5 scoreline. Winner of this round will get themselves match/map point. G2 could very well be series point if they close this one out. The IQ doing its work against the Valkyrie, which is obviously going to deny a lot of information away from G2. Up above, slow and steady wins the race for DarkZero, has kind of been their mantra, and I think when you look at the lineup that they're bringing here, it will be the case again. Alamau getting a little bit testy here, fakes the C4, maybe thinking someone's going to swing, or he's just having a bit of fun. Either way, he's very much ready to keep that main stairs under control for G2 as hatches start to get worked on.
Once C4 went out there, that was from Alamau, and it does a bit of damage onto NGR, but he stays alive. Very important here on the Thatcher. You don't want to lose that early, especially against like the Tubu, the Kai Claws, etc., which both claws still in Benja's pocket. They're waiting to see where those EMPs are going, count them, how many have been spent, and then utilize those claws. Keep DarkZero guessing as to, okay, where are they going to deny us? What do they care about the most?
Just over 60 seconds remaining. DarkZero, can they find a way to get themselves to map point here? Maybe against the odds at this point, because G2's setup has not been breached. And the Nitro Self and Benja will hit the mark. Beaulo to fall. The IQ gone. Hatch electrified. And suddenly now for G2, they've got themselves an eye on series point. Can the hatch get opened up?
They mistimed the EMP, so the Kai Claw goes through, denies the hatch, now the 2-pro frees it instead, so all of a sudden, there's no entry for DC, that Osa, not gonna play on kitchen hatch, maybe could do it instead like you brought forward earlier, but there's only 30 seconds to pivot here. Canadians gotta make a quick call.
Stock hatch open, moto hatch open, and there's still main stairs, so there are still options, and finally with 30 seconds left, the kitchen hatch now has also been opened up. Drone goes through, good little red ping onto Benja, over towards the hallway, and a rotate out to safety for G2. This looks like it'll have to just be a kitchen hatch drop. You can see the triple stack. Incendiaries go out and clear the backside of Arsenal. Canadian to drop down with that shield. The Talon shield to go down. Has the kit. Will plant behind it. Is Benja going to be able to get into a position to deny? Not necessarily. Nitro comes through. G2 getting the job done here, though. The attack from DarkZero largely stalled out because of that Kaid Tubra combination. And G2 showing right now that they've got the chops here at this event to go the whole way, because they're about to 2-0 DarkZero. You do. You could also spend this time as well going around the map and droning and getting information, and while you're waiting for that wall to eventually open up, I mean, we've seen time and time again with this particular site, wall gets opened up, 2 minutes on the clock, and then everyone goes their separate ways. You kind of can still play as if, let's just treat it as if it is open. Oh yeah, you're not going to have the crossfire, you're not going to have the sight lines. 90 seconds left. In terms of the Zoto canisters starting to, of course, run out. They're gone already for Alamau. No longer have the 4, only the 3 canisters. So time to now get to work against that Kaid. And of course, the EMP from Nafe will be successful. Shot initially, followed from that Rafters position. There's a double stack actually from G2 on Rafter. This is where the Capital can be successful though from Canadian. Lovely incendiary. Virtue somehow alive, eventually though flushed out by Beaulo. Really solid work from DarkZero. Great shot from Canadian.
Yeah, and they're so quick to the punch. They recognize time's a little bit lower here, guys. They speed things up. Wall gets open, 5 goes out immediately. They had yellow ping information and knew there was 2 players catwalk. Last person here in the way is Uno on the Kaid. So Benjamin on the Omai rather. When he's done for, they get catwalk control.
Really good work as well there from Canadian, dealing with the magnet, then throws out the incendiary. 40 seconds left. Still need to clear Benja though. Good position at Rafters. 1 for 1 though, and the second one to follow from Benja. 2 down below in garage. Information he can provide over to Uno, but he does lose his life. Uno did eventually make his way over to CCTV to help out, but now in a 1 versus 3. So 30 seconds remaining. Kit with Canadian down to Uno. with a Nitro Cell. Maybe anticipating one to still play off of the breach, the repel. He's got the game sense, but it doesn't hit. It goes over Nafe, and that was a big part of maybe Uno being able to win this round.
Would have been a huge D4 for him, and now he's in a tight spot. Flashbang's got verticality, up the staircase to go. They're both blinded.
Canadian will get over towards that default behind the bomb chassis, start getting that plant down. Uno, a second one in the 1v1 now with Canadian. He sticks it. Uno should know where he's going to be as well. Uno wins it out in the 1v3. And G2 send DarkZero packing from this battle for top spot. G2 claim #1 themselves. DarkZero will have to settle for second.
I always said that both teams can clutch up when it matters, but Uno with ice in his veins, missed the C4, does not care, will seek the engagement, fully blinded, trading things out. And I will say though, DarkZero, phenomenal save attempt in the final round there. Despite being locked out for over a full minute, they just acted immediately once they got the wall.